Welcome back. I want to start you out with some video from Seattle, Washington. This was shot on Wednesday. You can see the haze in the air, and that is a sight we're just going to have to get used to out across the Northwest because we're still dealing with smoke and active fires burning. I want to get you a look at some more video from across the region. This coming out of Utah. This is near Spanish Fork, the Coal Hollow fire. Crews continuing to battle this blaze. We have a lot of fires burning across the western half of the country, and that is contributing to smoky skies, not just out west, but all the way out to the east. In fact, we have thick smoke extending out to areas like Chicago, Little Rock, Dallas. So we are still dealing with the haze really across most of the country because of the fires burning mainly out over the western United States. Here's a look at some of the fires burning just out over the Northwest. We have the Howe Ridge fire, the Rabbit Foot fire, Miles fire, Cougar Creek fire, and the Taylor Creek fire. That's just a small number of the fires that are burning right now. We have several active wildfires across the country, and air quality, big concern for us across the Northwest. We have air quality alerts out today for parts of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, even stretching into Montana. So if you have breathing issues, make sure you are taking care out there today and really through the foreseeable future with the continued smoke and haze. Bad news is fire weather concerns are still going to be an issue today. All these areas highlighted under either a red flag warning or a fire weather watch through your Thursday, and we're going to see continued concern for that because we have more dry air moving in. This is our forecast for Thursday. Relative humidity everywhere you see the brown, that is indicating dry air, and it takes over a huge chunk of the west today. Bad news for drought concerns as well. We have excessive drought building in, exceptional drought, even moving into parts of the Four Corners region. So we desperately need to see some rain, and unfortunately for most of us, that's just not in the cards. Now, for some of us, we have too much rain on the way. We are tracking Hurricane Lane continuing to make its path out toward Hawaii. Marcus, what's the latest on this?
Yeah, well, we're talking about this very powerful storm that's moving across or moving toward this region, and as we take a look at the latest, we're talking about a storm that's still a Category 4 strength at max winds 145 miles per hour, moving toward the northwest at about 7 miles per hour. And as we put the map into motion, we could already see some of the moisture associated with this system moving across places like the Big Island of Hawaii and even places like Maui, dealing with that moisture and that cloud shield extending farther to the north and west. The latest alerts show that we have hurricane warnings in place and even tropical storm warnings in place across all of the Hawaiian Islands. Just a hurricane watch though for the two islands farthest to the west. But again, as you track the forecast, this storm system is forecast to move more north than anything over the next 12 to really 36 hours. And by the time we get to Friday morning, we're talking about a very powerful storm just west of the Hawaiian Islands. Here's a little bit more about the history of hurricanes.
Although Hawaii is surrounded by the Pacific on all sides, the islands don't typically see close calls with hurricanes. Landfall is even less likely. Since the mid-1950s, Hawaii has only seen notable impacts from 4 hurricanes, and only half of those have actually made landfall. These past storms have had severe, even deadly impacts for the islands. The last hurricane to make landfall on the islands was Iniki in 1992. This storm was a Category 4 hurricane with estimated gusts as high as 175 miles per hour over land. Iniki is the most powerful hurricane to strike the Hawaiian Islands in recent history, leaving over 14,000 homes damaged or destroyed and 6 dead. 10 years earlier, 1982, Iwa was a near miss for the islands as a Category 1 storm. The storm center passed just northwest of the islands. Property damage was severe, but most injuries were minor. 1 death occurred. The total storm damage at the time was $250 million, making it the most damaging storm on record. The third most recent hurricane to impact Hawaii and actually make landfall was Hurricane Dot. Dot made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane in August of 1959 with gusts over 100 miles per hour. Mainly agricultural damage was reported. Overall, major impacts from tropical systems are infrequent for Hawaii. Hurricanes and landfalls are even more uncommon. For Weather Nation, meteorologist Emily Roller.